Primary concern with removing a header without adequate support is the potential compromise of structural integrity. Headers are load-bearing elements, meaning they are designed to transfer weight from above, such as the roof or upper floors, to the supporting walls on either side. When a header is removed, that load path is interrupted. Without a temporary support system in place, the weight previously supported by the header is redistributed, often unevenly, to the surrounding structure. This can lead to several problems. Firstly, the increased stress on the remaining framing members, such as studs and top plates, can cause them to buckle, crack, or even fail. Secondly, the shifting weight can cause the wall to deflect or sag, which can be visible as cracks in the drywall or uneven floors above. Thirdly, and most seriously, the lack of support can lead to a partial or complete collapse of the structure. It's important to understand that even if everything has seemed to work fine for several years, the damage may be occurring gradually over time. The effects of removing a header without support are not always immediately apparent. The building materials may be slowly weakening or shifting, and the problem may not become obvious until a significant event, such as a heavy snowfall or an earthquake, puts additional stress on the structure. That is why a structural engineer is needed to assess and determine the best course of action. They have the knowledge and experience to evaluate the structural integrity of the building and identify any potential problems. They can also design a repair plan that will restore the structural integrity of the building and prevent future problems. The process typically involves several steps. 1. The structural engineer will conduct a thorough inspection of the affected area. This may involve removing drywall or other finishes to expose the framing members. 2. They will assess the extent of the damage and identify any areas of concern. 3. They will calculate the loads that the header is designed to support. 4. They will design a repair plan that will restore the structural integrity of the building. This may involve replacing the header with a new one, reinforcing the existing framing members, or adding additional support. 5. They will provide detailed drawings and specifications for the repair work. 6. They may also provide guidance on how to properly support the structure during the repair process. In addition to consulting with a structural engineer, it is also important to check with the local building department. Most jurisdictions require a permit for structural work, and the building department may have specific requirements for header replacement. Failure to obtain a permit can result in fines and delays. The specific requirements for header replacement vary depending on the local building code. However, some general guidelines to follow include 1. Using a header that is the correct size and material for the application. The size of the header is determined by the span of the opening and the load that it is designed to support. The material is typically wood or steel. 2. Ensuring that the header is properly supported on both ends. The support should be strong enough to carry the weight of the header and the load that it is supporting. 3. Using proper fastening techniques. The header should be securely fastened to the framing members using nails, screws, or bolts. 4. Inspecting the work carefully after it is completed. Make sure that the header is level and plumb, and that there are no signs of damage or stress. Here's some additional information to further elaborate on the importance of headers and structural integrity. Headers are crucial structural components in buildings, particularly in framed walls. They serve the critical function of transferring load around openings in walls, such as those for windows and doors. These openings disrupt the continuous vertical load path of the wall studs, and the header bridges this gap, ensuring that the weight above is safely distributed to the studs on either side of the opening. The size and material of a header are determined by several factors, including 1. The width of the opening, also known as the span. 2. The amount of weight the header needs to support, referred to as the load. 3. The type of construction, and 4. The local building codes. Building codes provide detailed specifications for header design, ensuring that they are adequate to handle the anticipated loads. There are various types of headers commonly used in construction, each with its own advantages and disadvantages. A solid lumber header consists of a single piece of lumber that spans the opening. This is the simplest type of header, but it is only suitable for relatively small spans and light loads. A built-up header is constructed from multiple pieces of lumber fastened together. This type of header is stronger than a solid lumber header and can be used for larger spans and heavier loads. A steel header is made from steel, and it is the strongest type of header, suitable for very large spans and very heavy loads. Lintel headers are often used in masonry construction and are typically made of steel or reinforced concrete. When a header fails or is improperly installed, it can have significant consequences for the structural integrity of the building. Some of these consequences include sagging ceilings or floors. A failing header can cause the ceiling or floor above the opening to sag or deflect. Cracks in walls are also a common issue, where a failing header can cause cracks to appear in the walls around the opening. Door and window problems can also occur, where a failing header can cause doors and windows to stick or become difficult to operate. In severe cases, a failing header can lead to partial or complete collapse of the wall or roof above the opening. Because of the potential for serious consequences, it is crucial to address any header problems promptly. If you suspect that a header is failing, you should consult with a qualified structural engineer or contractor to assess the situation and recommend appropriate repairs. Temporary supports are crucial when replacing or repairing a header to maintain the structural integrity of the wall. These supports are temporary structures designed to carry the load that the header normally supports, preventing the wall from collapsing during the work. The type and placement of temporary supports will depend on the size of the opening, the load being supported, and the type of construction. Typically, temporary supports consist of vertical posts such as forks or adjustable steel columns placed on either side of the opening. These posts are supported by a solid base and are topped with a horizontal beam that spans the opening. The horizontal beam is then carefully raised until it is snug against the underside of the wall or roof above, transferring the load to the temporary supports. It is essential to ensure that the temporary supports are properly installed and are capable of carrying the full load of the wall or roof above. The support should be spaced close enough together to prevent the horizontal beam from sagging or deflecting. It is also important to monitor the supports regularly during the work to ensure that they remain stable and in place. Once the new or repaired header is in place and properly secured, the temporary supports can be carefully removed. The removal process should be gradual to avoid sudden shifts in the load. The structural engineer plays a crucial role in ensuring the safety and stability of buildings and structures. They are licensed professionals with the education, training, and experience to evaluate structural systems, identify potential problems, and design appropriate solutions. When it comes to header replacement, a structural engineer can provide valuable expertise in several areas. They can assess the existing header and determine the appropriate size and material for the new header, taking into account the span of the opening, the load being supported, and the local building codes. They can also design a temporary support system to safely support the wall or roof during the header replacement process. They can provide detailed drawings and specifications for the header replacement work, ensuring that it is performed correctly and in accordance with the building codes. Also, they can inspect the completed work to ensure that it meets the required standards and that the structural integrity of the wall has been restored. Consulting with a structural engineer can help ensure that the header replacement is performed safely and effectively, and that the building's structural integrity is maintained. They have the expertise to identify potential problems and design solutions that will prevent future issues.